Hey guys, welcome to Malek Mentality episode 2. Now, today we're going to be talking about the gift of God, and how the gift of God can be used to help you become successful. Now, before I begin, I wanted to mention one thing I didn't mention in my previous video, and it's the concept of Malek mentality. Now, Malek in Hebrew means king. So when I say Malek mentality, I'm talking about king mentality, the kingship mentality. And this is what this channel strives for, to bring people to the values of a king. Now, it's not the kings of history where, you have your tyrants and people that oppress other people. I'm talking about God's version of what a king is. And what is that kind of version? It's the type of version that serves the true leadership, the true leader, the true godly king. That's what we're trying to aim for here. Now, today we're going to be talking about the gift of God. Now, just like our unique fingerprints and our unique DNA, we are also given unique gifts by God. And why do we have these gifts? To be able to glorify Him, to be able to glorify His name as much as possible, and in turn will also bless us. And these gifts that are innately part of us. So that means we are designed to be able to accommodate to this gift. Now, everyone's gift is different. No one's gift is the same. And it's important to figure out where your gift is, because, and this will go to my first verse, and this is what our whole video will be based on, this one verse. And it'll be in Proverbs 18, verse 16. It says here in Proverbs, a gift opens doors, and it gives access to the grace. And it gives access to the grace. Now, a gift opens way. So what this is saying is quite simple. If we learn how to use our gift, it allows us to access the grace. So that means the more we cultivate this gift that we have, whatever this gift may be, it'll actually help us become closer to becoming successful. But not only that, you're actually utilizing it for good, to glorify God. So it's a win-win. And now once we realize what this gift is, this gift that we've been given, and it's very hard to find, right? Especially nowadays in contemporary society. I'll talk about that a bit later, but once we figure out this gift, what we need to do is we need to take a step forward. And once we take a step forward, it says here in Proverbs 17, verse 9, the human mind plans the way, but the Lord directs the steps. If you really want to become successful, you take the step forward. That's the first step. You take the step forward. We make the plan, but God directs the steps. If it's within God's will, He will direct the steps. Just ask the Holy Spirit and He will guide you into the path of success, as long as you're doing it for good. So what is the gift? What is the gift? That's the question that everyone's probably asking themselves right now. What is this gift? I don't know what your gift is. It's as simple as that. Only you know what your gift is. Only you and God know what your gift is. Your parents might know a little bit, but only you can really understand what your gift really is, because it's that unique to you. It's innately embedded within you, and only you know what it is. And you need to figure out what it is. Now, there's a parable in Matthew which talks about the talents and the gift. And I should mention, when I mean gift in this case, I'm not talking about the gift of the Holy Spirit, which is a very, very important topic. And we'll discuss that at a different time. But what we're discussing today is the gift, or the talents that we've been given. Now, there's a parable in Matthew called the parable of the talents. For those that haven't read it, I recommend pausing this video if you haven't read this parable, and go to Matthew 25, verse 14, all the way up to verse 30. And this is the parable of the talents. So I'll give you a brief overview, but I highly recommend you pause this video first and read the verse, contemplate it, reflect on it before moving back to this video. But let me give you a quick rundown. There's essentially 3 slaves, right? You have the 3 slaves and your master. And what the master does is he gives a certain amount of talents, and the talents is referenced as a currency in this parable. But you can also utilize it as gifts or skills or something, right? Something that's innately valuable to the person. Now, the master gives different numbers of talents to all these different slaves. Now, for the first one, he gives 5 talents. To the second one, he gives 3 talents. And to the third one, he gives 1 talent. And he's essentially asking these slaves to go and make something out of it. Do something with it. Don't waste it. Do something with it. So what do these slaves do? The first one, with the 5 talents, instead of wasting it and spending it, what he does is he utilizes it and then 2x's his money. So he ends up with 10 talents altogether. Now, the second slave, he's the one that received 3 talents. He ends up doing the exact same thing. He utilizes the gifts that he has, or the talents that he has, or the money that he has, whatever it is, and then 2x's that. Now, the last slave, he's the one with the 1 talent. Instead of actually doing something with it, what he does is he digs a hole in the ground and places the talent in there, and then doesn't touch it until the master comes back. Now, when the master comes back, the first slave says, "Hey, look," the one with the 5 talents says, "Hey, look, I've 2x your money. Here you go." And the master is so happy because he utilized the gifts that he's been given and then made something out of it, and now he's made a lot more talents because of it. Now, the master says, "Congratulations, my slave. You've done so well. Good on you. I'm so happy. You've done exactly what I've asked you, and because of that, it says you were in charge of small things, but now I'm going to make you in charge of bigger things, as though he's now a steward and not a slave." And then the last part he says, "Come into my rest. Come into my joy." For a master to say that, essentially, he's adopting him into his joy, right? Now, the second slave with the 3 talents, the master gives the exact same response, word for word. He says, "Congratulations, you've done well with these small things. Now I'm going to give you in charge. Now I'm going to make you in charge of many things." And then he ends up saying the exact same thing: "Come into my joy." The exact same thing as the 5 talents. But the last talent, the guy with the 1 talent, he ends up saying, "Hey, look, I was kind of afraid of you. I didn't know what you were going to do. And therefore, what I did was I hid it in the ground, but here's your money back." Is the master happy that he held, his money instead of doing something with it? He was pissed off. He said, "Why didn't you at least go to the bankers and put the money in? At least I would have got some interest. Why didn't you do something with what I gave you? Anything." I think the master would have been happy with anything that a slave would have given him. But no, the slave didn't use it at all. He hid it so that no one else would see. And then what does the master do? He ends up throwing the slave into the wilderness, into the darkness, because he doesn't want anymore. And then he gives that 1 talent that he had and gives it to the one with the 10 talents. This is so prevalent in society today. Think about it. All these people with gifts that they don't use, what do they end up doing? They end up working at jobs that they don't want to work at. Your Macca's or McDonald's for you Americans, Macca's, KFC, all these different joints, and they profit of yourself, but not through the gifts that you've been given. And then they make the money, and then you sit down and you get your minimum wage, and then you go back home, and that's that. And then the master throws the slave out, right? He throws the slave out into the wilderness, into the darkness, and it says where there'll be gnashing of teeth. And how perfectly does that symbolize how society is nowadays? If something goes wrong, what is the first thing people do? They blame God. "Why didn't you do this for me, God? Why didn't you save me from this? Why didn't you help me with this? I was born into a Christian home. I pray every day, but why aren't you making me successful?" Everyone ends up blaming God because they don't utilize their own gifts. They blame God for it. Of course, God's not going to bless you when you haven't used the gifts that He's given to you to glorify Him. Now, what I want you guys to think about is, out of the 3 servants, which one are you? Because I can tell you right now, I was the third one. I was the one with the 1 talent. I didn't even know what my gift was. I knew it must have been something, but I didn't know what it was. It was only when I got with God and I started reading these verses that I realized, damn, maybe I do have a gift. Maybe I do have something. But what is it? I don't know what it is. So what do? I went to go find out. And this will lead me to the next point that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to make many more videos to talk about how we can cultivate our gift to make it ready for society, and then ready for God to bless you, and ready for God to direct your steps so that you can get access to the great, just like it says in Proverbs. It's very simple on how to find a gift. It's to figure out what you're good at. So what do? And I recommend you do the same. What you do is you go home, you tell your parents, if you're living with your parents or whatever, or whoever you're living with, "Don't disturb me for an hour." Go into your room, take all your electronics, all your phone, gadgets, your laptop, everything, put it in your living room, go into your room where there's no distractions. Go and stare at a wall for half an hour. Now, when you sit there and just contemplate and just think, all these different thoughts in your head are going to start popping up. Oh, what do I have for dinner today? What do I have to do for tomorrow? Oh, when do I have to wake up for work? All that stuff. Do not fight against it. Do not fight against it. Let it flow, let it simmer, and let your mind just settle down. Once it's settled down, ask yourself this question: what am I good at? I'm not telling you to think what I think I want to be good at or what I believe I'm good at. What are you good at? What are you bad at? Write these things down. Remember, you don't want to think about what you want to do, because that's influenced by society, by social media. Because everyone wants to be this or that or successful, but they can't really think about what it is they're actually good at. And it can be the smallest of things. And I'm not saying what you need to do is be the best drawer or the best painter or the best singer or the best actor or whatever it is, right? It could be as simple as, I'm good at listening. I'm good at talking. I'm good at listening to people's hearts. It could be as simple as that. And that gift, that small little gift that you have, that you've hidden in the ground, now you dig it up. Now you're going to try and invest into it, this gift. Just like the 5 talents and the 3 talents, doesn't matter how many talents you have, because the master says the exact same thing. I'm going to make you in charge of many. So it doesn't matter if it's the smallest of gifts or whether it's the biggest gift, and unless you're an absolute genius like Einstein, it does not matter. That's not what God needs from you. What God needs from you is that you learn how to cultivate the gift that you've been given, and God will bless you because of it. Now, one thing I want to mention is this. This is not a transactional relationship between you and God, okay? It's not, oh, let me do this thing for you using my gift that I figured out. Therefore, you have to bless me. That's not how it works. You need to figure out who Jesus is. You need to figure out who Yahweh is. And then from there, you'll be able to cultivate a mindset which is pleasing to God so that He may bless you in the time where you use your gift. What is opportunity? Opportunity is being in the specific point in time where there is a situation that enables you to take that opportunity. Luck is the exact same situation. If you take a lottery ticket and I don't take a lottery ticket, technically you have an infinite chance more of getting that lottery than me, because you took the step and bought the lottery ticket. Now, I'm not telling you to buy lottery tickets, but I hope you understand the meaning of what I'm trying to say. It's important that you take that step. So figure out where your gift is, talk to God, pray to God. God, I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to do this. I only just find out what my gift is. I don't know how to cultivate it. Help me. And for sure, God will help you. Read your proverbs. Read your proverbs. Learn wisdom. Learn the wisdom of God. Learn the fear of God. Then what you'll do is you'll start to improve yourself, and you start to build up on yourself, and you cultivate this gift that you've been given. And then you'll be given an opportunity where you can present your gift to the wider audience. And then the more you cultivate, the more people see, and then the more people will come. And that's how you become successful. Because not only are you cultivating it for God's purpose, you're also cultivating it to help others. And that is what makes you successful. And I mean this in a physical sense. You can become successful through your gift that God has given you, because He will bless you. So think about these things. Think about your gift. Figure out where your gift is and try to cultivate it. And then in my next video, I'm going to be talking about how to cultivate it even further and how the gift of God can be used to help others. And then from there, you can end up becoming one of the greatest people, influencing lives and changing the world. But it all starts from digging up that one little talent that you've hidden in your hole, take it out, and then cultivate it, grow it, and ask God to help you, and He will help you. So I hope this video helped. It is quite a challenging video, because you're starting to think about yourself more. You start to think about the gifts that you have, and especially for those that don't have that self-esteem, trust me, we all have a gift. God created us as unique as possible, as unique as our fingerprints. You have something. You have something inside. You need to figure out what it is. And once you figure out what it is, God's going to take you places. That's for sure. So do like, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and please do share it with your friends. Thank you.